Today we are going to make a paper snowflake. So for this you're going to need the materials, a 8.5 by 11 sheet of white paper. If you have colored paper, that's fine too. You will need scissors and you will also need a pencil. Alright, so for step 1, we're going to take our paper and we are going to place it on a table with the long direction going across from left to right. Look at this diagram on your PowerPoint slide. Taking the bottom left corner, we're going to gently bring it up and toward the right side until the top edges touch. So you'll see till the top edges touch. And once they are touching, you're going to gently crease it so that it makes an angled edge here. Now, what you're going to do is, for the next step, you're going to cut off this rectangular area with your scissors. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to cut as close to the edge as I can without cutting into the other part of this paper, the folded part of the paper. Okay, so now I have a triangle. But when I open it up, go ahead and open it up, that's the next step, you now have a perfect square with a crease in the center. Next, we're going to take our paper and we're going to take the bottom and we're going to fold it up to the top. And you're going to line it up with the top edge there, and then you're going to crease it once again. So now you have a rectangle. Now that you have this rectangle, you're now going to fold it again in half to make a smaller square. So you can take the left side, fold it over to the edge, and again crease it. So now you have a small square. You can still see the crease here, but now you have a small square. Now, can you figure out where the center of your paper is? Looking at all of the edges here, where might the center be? If you thought it was this corner, you are correct. It's the corner that is not open at all. All right, these are open edges, this is open edges, and this has two open here. So it is down in this bottom corner. So to mark it, just so that you can keep track of where the center is, you can just take your pencil and mark a little tiny dot there to mark the center. Okay, now that we have our center made, we're now along this crease here, we're going to fold it again in half, bringing the two corners together there, the points, and we're going to crease it to make a triangle. So again, my little dot right here is my center. I'm going to hold that down like this, and you're going to see this is what you should end up with. Okay, triangular shape, here's my center. I'm going to hold it like this, and now you can see that this top edge is going to be the outside of our snowflake. So when we go to make some cuts, we don't want to cut along this outside edge. We want to cut along the bottom edge and this back edge here. So now we are going to make some cuts with our scissors. You can do triangular shapes, you can do round shapes. I'm just going to cut some out here to show you. Just do a couple at a time. Be careful with the scissors. Don't need any fingers to be cut. And sometimes you might have to kind of pull them off. You can make tall ones. You can make equilateral triangles. Right? You can make all kinds of little cuts. And then you can also cut on this edge as well. You can be very creative with this, but we're just going to make some cuts. Okay, I'm going to do one more, make this a little bit taller. Okay, so now that I have my cuts, again, this is my outside edge. This is my center. Okay, so now the next part that we're going to do is we're going to take this outside edge and we can make it into whatever we want. So if you want to keep it as a square snowflake, you just wouldn't cut anything. But if you would like to make it have sort of a pattern, you could do some little like bumps. You could cut out bumps here. You could cut out a rounded edge, which would make it a round snowflake. You could cut like a gentle sort of wave or a zigzag. Okay, so if we want to take this square off of here, we could just do something like this. We could take our scissors and sort of do like a little bit of a wave. You can see how I'm cutting. Okay, so this is my outside edge, right? And so it looks like a little tiny wave. And so now all I have to do is open up very carefully, open up my snowflake. And I have a beautiful snowflake. And again, this is staying square because we just did a pattern. Now, if you wanted to do a rounded snowflake, there are different ways that you could do a rounded snowflake. So if I fold this back up, again, this was my outside edge where I did that sort of wave. I could make it rounded, meaning that I could literally just go like this and sort of make it on a curve. And when I curve it like that, if you open it back up, you'll notice that now my outside edges make my snowflake rounded. Okay, instead of more square, it's sort of rounded. And there are a couple other different things you could do. You could make it sort of like a star, and just however you really want to. You could do points. If you wanted to do a star, you'd have to go sort of like this and cut up. Let's try it. You just want to make sure that you are not cutting into anywhere beyond the edge. So here you have more of like a star shape, still rounded but star, and that's how you make a snowflake.